Here we have June 2013, question 2, and the question is the movement of the production possibility frontier from SR to ST is most likely to indicate an increase in. Okay, before we run through the options, let's just remind ourselves of what this is showing us. A production possibility frontier shows us the maximum amount of goods that could be produced if we employ all of the economy's resources in producing that good. For example, the maximum amount of consumer goods that we could make is shown at point S. The maximum amount of capital goods for SR is shown at R and for ST at T. And the line between shows us that there is a trade-off between making each of the two goods. The trade-off known, as we know, as an opportunity cost. So if I want to increase the amount of consumer goods, I must decrease the amount of capital goods as I'm shifting resources from capital goods to consumer goods and vice versa. Okay, hopefully that reminds us of what a production possibility frontier is, and we can go through the options. Now I'm going to leave option A for now because that is indeed our right answer and start with option B. Option B states that the resources employed in the production of capital goods have been increased. Now, as we've just found out, if I am to increase the production of capital goods, I must decrease the amount of consumer goods. Now let's just see if that is what is being shown by this movement from SR to ST. So, if I draw a point here, that is showing me that I have produced this many capital goods and this many consumer goods. We've now moved from this point to here. As something has changed, the production possibility frontier has moved outwards. And this is saying that now we can produce the same amount of consumer goods, but more of the capital goods. Now, the answer here is saying the resources employed in the production of capital goods has changed. That's not strictly true. If that were true, we would have lost some of the consumer goods, and we haven't. Consumer goods have stayed at the same level, so we can discount that one. Okay, option C, the demand for capital goods. Now it should be plainly obvious that this is a red herring. It is pointing you towards a completely different diagram. It is pointing you towards the demand diagram, and we're not dealing with a demand diagram, okay? We are dealing with the production possibility frontier. So we can discount that one. That is of no interest to us. We're not dealing with that. Option D, the opportunity cost of the production of capital goods in terms of consumer goods has increased. Now if the opportunity cost of capital goods had increased relative to consumer goods, we would actually see this. A shift inwards. This is essentially saying that for every extra consumer good we produce, we're going to have to sacrifice even more capital goods in terms of consumer goods. And this is not the case. So we can discount D. And that leaves us with A. The productivity in the production of capital goods has increased. Now this is true, and this is shown by using my example earlier. We can keep consumer goods at the same level and make more capital goods. So our productivity must have increased. We are making more for less, essentially.